A single ship, sailing a forgotten route, reshaped global power. For 2.5 centuries, a lonely maritime highway connected the Spanish colonial mints of Mexico to the glittering markets of China. This wasn't merely a trade route. It was the world's first truly global supply chain, a conduit for silver that would profoundly alter economies and empires across 3 continents. Everyone understands the Silk Road, the spice routes, but the Manila Galleons, these behemoths of the Pacific, are often overlooked. Yet their impact was arguably even more transformative, a direct consequence of European expansion meeting insatiable Asian demand. The story begins, as many do, with gold, or rather the lack of it. Spain, flush with New World silver from Potosi, discovered a profound truth. Europe simply didn't produce enough goods that Asia truly desired. But silver was different. China, under the Ming Dynasty, had a voracious appetite for silver. It was the bedrock of their monetary system, a stable currency for a vast and complex economy. Europe had the silver, China had the good silks, porcelains, spices, and exotic luxuries. The problem was distance. How to bridge the immense Pacific Ocean. Ferdinand Magellan had charted a path, but it was treacherous and poorly understood. The true breakthrough came from a less celebrated navigator, Andrés de Urdaneta. In 1565, Urdaneta, a former Augustinian friar and skilled cosmographer, discovered the Volta ao Largo the return path. By sailing far north to catch the prevailing westerlies, he found a reliable route back to New Spain from the Philippines. This was the missing piece. This discovery birthed the Manila galleon trade. Every year, 1 or 2 colossal ships, laden with silver from Acapulco, would sail west to Manila. There they would offload their precious cargo, exchanging it for Chinese goods brought by Fujianese junks. The journey was epic. From Acapulco to Manila took around 3 months. The return voyage, the Tornaviage*, was far longer and more arduous, often 6 to 9 months, battling storms and scurvy across thousands of miles of open ocean. These galleons were floating fortresses, bristling with cannons to deter pirates and rival European powers. They were also floating cities, carrying hundreds of crew, soldiers, passengers, and countless goods. The treasures they carried were immense. A single galleon's cargo could be worth millions of pesos. Imagine the sheer wealth, concentrated in one vessel, traversing the largest ocean on Earth. It was an undertaking of staggering ambition and risk. Manila became the global entrepôt, a bustling, cosmopolitan hub where East met West. Chinese merchants, Spanish colonists, Filipino natives, Japanese traders, and even some Europeans converged, creating a vibrant, often volatile, melting pot of cultures and commerce. But this prosperity came at a cost. The insatiable demand for silver had profound consequences for China. The influx caused inflation, impacting the lives of ordinary people who suddenly found their copper coins worth less. Furthermore, the Ming dynasty's reliance on silver for tax payments made its economy vulnerable to fluctuations in the global silver supply. When the flow of silver from the New World faltered, so too did the Ming's stability, contributing to its eventual collapse. Across the Pacific, in New Spain, the silver trade fueled immense wealth, but also exploitation. The indigenous populations were forced to toil in the mines, extracting the very metal that propelled this global exchange. The galleons also brought new flora and fauna across the Pacific. Maize, potatoes, tomatoes, and chili peppers from the Americas journeyed to Asia, forever changing diets and agriculture. These were invisible passengers, but their impact was immense. Conversely, Asian goods and ideas traveled eastward. Silk and porcelain were obvious, but also new techniques, new perspectives. The galleon trade wasn't just about commodities, it was about the subtle, constant exchange of culture. For 250 years, from 1565 to 1815, the Manila galleons sailed. Their final voyage coincided with the Mexican War of Independence, severing the link that had bound these distant continents. Their legacy, however, endures. They were the crucible in which the modern global economy was forged. They demonstrated that sustained, long-distance trade was not only possible but incredibly lucrative, despite the immense challenges. They were a testament to human ingenuity, greed, and endurance. These ships, often lost to storms or English privateers, carried not just cargo, but the seeds of globalization, connecting previously disparate worlds. The Manila Galleons represent a pivotal moment, a hidden history that shaped the geopolitical and economic landscape we inhabit today. They underscore how a seemingly isolated venture could ripple outwards, transforming nations and cultures. Imagine a sound, a constant, low thrum just at the edge of hearing. That was the pulse of the silver trade, echoing from the Potosi mines across the Pacific and into the heart of Ming China. A sound only you can now truly appreciate. So the next time you hold a piece of porcelain or taste a chili pepper, consider the invisible threads that bind them to a time when magnificent wooden ships sailed the vast Pacific, carrying the future in their holds. Uncover more forgotten stories that shaped our world by exploring this channel's other deep dives.